morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Internet Dad Show. I'm Jason. That's Deacon's chair where he's getting something very important. And we meet here Monday through Friday to talk about the news. And today we're here to remind you that the B and FBI does not stand for banking. Good morning, everybody. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, follow us. You might get a laugh. You might get a chuckle. Can't promise anything. But by the end of the show, you will get at least one hilarious joke for sure. We got a couple of FBI stories in the news this morning. And we might look into how the world is reacting wildly to the Daniel Perry. Oh, he's coming back. Here he is. Daniel Perry, not guilty verdict. Some people are just real happy about that. I saw a weird thread this morning about young people and their opinions about having kids. And surprisingly, young people have stupid opinions. So, good morning, folks. Hey, Deke. How you doing? You all right? Oh, he's verklempt. He's not the only one. I woke up this morning and I have that sore throat that's like, oh geez, I'm gonna have a respiratory infection in 2 weeks.
You've had that scratchy throat that throat for a while. I've got my show today, and I forgot there at the last minute that I've got to set up certain things in the office to get ready for the people coming in. And I don't even know if people are coming in or not, so I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. But it's Wednesday, and Wednesday's when they come in for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My daughter woke up with a little fever today, so I'm not sure what that means in your household, but it means in my household that I'm going to be working remotely from the house, and she's staying home. So she got like 101.
When one of my kids gets sick, that means in my household that in 2 weeks I will get sick.
Oh yeah.
Because they will get sick, and then another one will get sick, and then Ashley will get sick, and then I'm the last one to get sick.
Oh yeah.
Mine usually lasts 2 days, but they'll go a week each one.
I don't have it on hand at the moment, but before I get into the topic of the day or the story of the day, we got some FBI stories. The title of today's episode is "The B and FBI does not stand for banking." So we have some FBI intrusion into your finances that we'll talk about in a little bit. But I woke up this morning. It's a kid's story. It's a story about kids, I guess. Woke up and I kind of first thing I just rebooted my phone because apparently it was an update, and I opened Twitter and there was this post about it was by this man who is 23 years old. I can only assume he's a college graduate, and he was basically
old. He's got to be a college student.
Yeah, you'd think so. And he was essentially he was suggesting like, oh, like it right now might be a bad time to have kids. He says, not me. So for whoever's tuning in, not me. I'm not saying that. He's like, right now is a bad time to have kids because in 5 years they'll be able to do gene editing, and your kids will essentially not get cancer, not get sick, and in your kids in 5 years. So if you have a kid now and have a kid in 5 years, you might live to see one of them have cancer and the other is a superhuman that only sleeps 4 hours a night. And so that was his point was like, we should just, if you're young, you should just hold off having kids for 5 years. And I was like, we watched Gattaca 20 years ago and that didn't happen yet. And a bunch of people talked about Gattaca to him. And he was like, everybody that's acting defensively about, I'm going to guess that if I didn't talk to him, but he's having this conversation with multiple people. And his whole shtick, anytime anybody would be like, that's not a good thing, dude, to just not have kids. If you can have kids, you should be having kids. His whole thing was like, the only people who are being defensive about this are parents. I bet you're a parent. I bet you're a parent. The only people who are reacting defensively are parents. And
sounds like a genius. Sounds like a riveting conversation that I would gladly spend my time listening to this moron speak.
And I'm just like, but they're like this about everything, but they're like this about kids. Like, I mean, they're like this about everything.
Let me tell you, and I've said this on the show before. I've said this to people before. When Deacon was born, the minute he was born, it wasn't leading up to during the pregnancy. It was the minute I became a real father. a father. It was
Yeah.
my responsibility to take care of this person that I loved unconditionally, and I would cut off my fingers and arms to ensure that they were okay and whatnot. You know, a switch flips in your brain, and you change from the 23-year-old arguing on X to the 23-year-old that's like, "This is kinda pointless."
It seems cliche to say, like, "Oh, kids change your life and they change who you are." It is not cliche. It literally happens. You have no kids and you are a selfish piece of shit, and you might acknowledge that, or you might think you're altruistic or whatever. But then when you have kids, like, your whole world changes. Like, everything about it. First of all, I have to keep this small human alive. And then after that, I have to keep them from, like, running right into a garbage disposal or whatever they can, just
And
the
and
from
and
injuring
and
themselves.
you got to ensure that they're not gonna grow up to be a little prick, you know,
Oh,
because
yeah.
there's too many of them in this world. Y Oh, man. Well, it's funny. There was something else I was gonna say, I don't remember now.
Anyway, I'm just shocked at how dumb some people can be. Aren't you shocked at how dumb some people can be,
No,
Deacon?
no, no, I'm not.
Smart smart
People
people.
don't even shock me anymore.
No, nothing?
No,
Okay.
no.
Alright.
It's I yeah, I'm not even gonna get into it.
Well, okay, so, just on the topic of, like, the science topic, what do you even think about the idea of, like, "Oh, yeah, we should have our doctors or scientists have the technology to edit the genes of human babies
It's
or
already
embryos?"
there, and it's already been done, and for the people that don't know, there was a Chinese doctor years ago that, was doing this gene editing in utero and edited these 2 little girls, these Chinese baby girls' genes, and they
Yeah,
were born without this hereditary disease that her family had gotten, and these
okay,
girls were going to have this hereditary disease, and this doctor took that gene out, and these little girl and that doctor was convicted, and he went to prison, and he
right.
got out of prison, and he said the whole time, "I'm glad for what I'd done. I'm glad for what I'd done." So, it is already being done, and if you don't think the super elite Barron Trump is 7 foot tall and a genius that speaks 78 languages.
Yeah, but he wasn't he wasn't gene edited the with science
Are you
powers.
sure? You
He
don't
was gene edited
know.
with,
He's 7 foot tall and speaks
Donald
17
Trump talking to
languages,
the
JJ.
hottest model he could find.
I mean I'm trying to make a point here.
I think you both just made points.
That's true.
I mean, we are I
Like
mean,
how much taller are your kids than you, Deke?
Um, yeah, they're taller than me.
Yeah.
Deacon Maggie's going to be as tall as me. Ayla is as tall as me. Deacon is taller than me. Alex is taller than me. Kendra is almost as tall as me.
On a good day,
I'm 5'11".
I'm 5'8".
I'm not short,
Mike
but I'm
is
not
six
tall.
three. Mike is 6'3".
Yeah.
And Isaac
Well,
is
that's
is
fair.
5'9" now, maybe 5'10".
Do you ever walk around the house and be like, "Hey, get me that thing off the top shelf"? Do you ever
Yeah,
do
oh
that?
yeah. Yeah.
My best friend, still one of my best friends to this day, and my best friend for 30 years now was a guy that was 6'8" in high school and weighed like 300 something pounds. So I've got
Mhm.
I've told every, and he's Polish. So I've told every tall Polish joke in the book to this guy.
All two of them.
I've got a bunch.
Oh, boy.
But it could also be, he might not have been gene spliced. But there's some crap that we're eating now, our kids are eating. There's
Oh,
gotta be a
yeah.
reason.
We
There's
talked
Well,
about that
okay.
not too long ago.
So like if you I mean like a one-off situation like, oh, my one like thing is going to prevent cancer because we've identified cancer. I don't know about that. But when you take a wider lens view and you look at the fabric of humanity and you're like if it goes into if it becomes common practice for doctors who may I remind you were just so accurate about COVID a couple of years ago, you're going to give them the ability
Love it.
to edit humans edit humans. First of all, they're going to all have a consensus that so and so genetic marker is not good. So we'll get rid of it. and they will just wipe it out of the human genome.
Or
They'll
insurance
just-
companies will say no, or like we talked about yesterday with the back
What?
thing. Hey, we create this thing, and if you can guarantee you can do this, doctors, we've got to get rid of this in humans. How do you build that? And
But
it's
that-
very
it's
scary.
it's some like one angle of it is the unforeseen consequences. Another angle is we know that all the scientists, they'll come to a consensus because they think they're right, and
Well, what
the
if-
majority of scientific product is wrong. It's not reproducible. Scientists are wrong more often than right.
Well, it also opens up like this conversation came out several years ago. I remember, you guys might remember, about fixing Down syndrome in utero. And
Yeah.
that whole argument came to where we can do this. We can
Yeah.
eradicate Down syndrome. And then
I think
people
it's
are like,
wrong.
what eradicate Down syndrome? What are you talking about? Why are you using the word
Yeah.
eradicate? Is that
Yeah.
a bad
Fix.
thing?
What about the term fix?
Fix. What are you talking about? Fix. Have you ever been around someone with Down syndrome? They are heavenly angels most of the time. Most of the time. Most of the time, I've known some bastards.
I worked a couple of Special Olympics.
Yeah,
Had a
some of those
blast
Downs
doing it.
guys could be intense,
Look,
man.
nobody's perfect. But I heard I think it was congressional testimony about that topic about Down syndrome and trying to
Yeah.
cure,
I hated that word.
eradicate
Fix it,
down,
cure,
down
eradicate. What are you
and
talking about? What are these words you're using?
person with Down syndrome made an argument basically in favor of his own existence. Like, I know you guys are trying to eradicate Down syndrome, but like, and it wasn't like a elite, effete, laureate argument. It was pretty simple points, but one of his things was like, I have a right to exist, and you may not think about, may not believe it, but people with Down syndrome are they are a generator of joy for themselves and the people around them, and they are happier than you are. They are happier, and they create happiness around them by all the people they interact with.
So we have the Marshall County Exceptional Center here that caters to all kinds of counties and has all kinds of clients that come in with Downs and all kinds of other mental disabilities that they cater to them for free. And they do all kinds of stuff, activities during the day and whatnot.
Right.
And I've worked with them before and done stuff with them, and we have them on the show all the time. And one of the things that we were talking about just the other day is one of the guys that used to live here in town. He had this special walk that he would do. He was always walking around the basketball around town. He's moved off to his brother's now, and he don't live in town anymore. But he used to walk around town. Dave, hey Dave, and he'd come over and he'd talk to your ear off. But he always wanted to play basketball, and he organized this run. Okay, that everybody, Dave's little jingle run that they would do every year, and he would raise money. And what he would do is, and I didn't know this until not too long ago, like a couple of weeks ago, she was telling me, because they're still raising money this year for it. But he would take this money, all the money raised from this run, and he would go to the Exceptional Center, and they would take these exceptional people over to Walmart, and they would use this money to let those people pick an angel off the tree to buy for someone else, because these people don't have a way to income, and they don't.
Okay.
And it was allowing them to give to some, and
I honestly,
they were like, it was about to make me cry when they were talking about it in here, and every person that I've talked to about that were like, it's been a part of that, is like, that's my favorite thing in the whole year, is to be with those people while they're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about in the case of exceptional people, but I think it's an incredibly important exercise for you to take your kids and let them shop for other people, and let them not choose a gift for themselves or for their sibling, but for like someone else, and like let them search their mind or their creativity for a gift for others, an aunt or uncle or cousin, or not a kid, maybe not a kid, but the experience of like of practicing giving to someone else.
Let me tell you,
important.
a coworker used to do most of the one of the clubs here in the county would collect money and they would shop for the kids for Christmas, or they would they sponsored the tree. Okay. So the people would come sign up and be like, I need this. And they would give them a paper and the kids would fill out what they wanted for Christmas. Right. It would have all these different things, sizes and stuff like that. And then it would have like what kind of toys and stuff. And there would be, this was not just like 5 or 6. It was like a bunch over the years where these kids would ask for blankets and sheets, bed sheets, and a pillow, a mattress. That's what they wanted for Christmas. They didn't want a toy. They wanted bed sheets, and it wasn't like I want some Spider-Man bed sheets. It was like bed sheets, any plain white bed sheets. It really breaks your heart. But it's this our society is out of sight, out of mind. It really is. Our society is out of sight, out of mind. If you're not told about it and it's not right in front of your face, you forget about it until somebody's like, "Oh, these kids that live 4 doors down from you have been starving for a week." And
I'm certainly stepping on Dave's toes here, but this is one of the benefits of being a member of a church. You are part of a community of people that are dissimilar to you, probably more similar to you than not, but they are not relative and they're not your, lifelong friends necessarily. They're not your neighbors necessarily. They are people from your community that you may not be related to, but you interact with. And, certainly they're not the most different than you, because people that live near you are probably more or less very similar to you in either culture or economic status or what have you. But this is one of the positive benefits of churching, of being in a church, of being an active member in a church, is that you relate to and interact with, and make friends with people that are not your, immediate cohort. Like maybe, and a lot of people are different. I'm a introverted person. I have a small circle of friends. My wife has like a big circle of friends, and then like a big circle of associates and whatever. And some people are like that. And I have, my best friend died like 5 years ago, and I got you guys. So, and I guess I have a few other friends, but like, it's real important for, if you're that kind of person that you're just like keep a small circle to interact with other people and be in community and commune. It's an important thing. Dave may have something to say about that. The social benefit rather than spiritual.
Who says social isn't spiritual?
Well, I mean, okay, but they're not identical either. So, in a different attribute.
I think you misunderstand the spiritual then.
Okay.
And the only reason I say that is
but you have a relationship with God that you don't have with your neighbor. Maybe that's wrong, but maybe you should have a better relationship with your neighbor. But
you should be able to, as a Christian, you should be able to see God's image in every person you interact with, because every person is made in the image of God. And they should hopefully be able to see Christ in you as a follower of Christ. I look at like the different and Gospels, and you can see Jesus hanging out with the disciples around, just at him.
That's why we're all sinners. It's because you're supposed to see God in everyone, and they're supposed to see Jesus in you. And how hard is that when this asshole behind you is blinding you with his damn headlights and won't get off your ass? How hard is it to get Jesus and godly?
They get elected to office.
You see.
I hope that Jesus made butt jokes, because that's the only way that people are going to see Jesus.
Why would he have not?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Hey, I'm going to change the subject here. Do you want to get to the
I was going to do the story, but change the story.
Okay. No. Okay. That's what I was going to, because I got some stories I want to say, but do the thing story.
All right. So today's episode, once again, the B in FBI is not for banking. House Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan from Ohio said Tuesday that the federal government has been weaponized to spy on American bank accounts and financial transactions. We know, this is a quote, we know that in 2023 that 14,000 different individuals in the government, which is about 3 million times in 1 year, 14,000 individuals did over 3 million searches of this database of information on American banking habits. Last week, the House Judiciary Committee issued a report that detailed how federal government had unchecked access to private financial data of everyday Americans. The FBI has manipulated the Suspicious Activity Report, SAR, filing process to treat financial institutions as de facto arms of law enforcement, issuing requests without legal process that amount to demands for information related to certain persons or activities it considers suspicious. So our government routinely just scrapes together all kinds of information, and we saw from the Twitter files, right? And similarly, Facebook and other social media, that whenever they cannot use hard power to enforce an edict or demand, that they'll go in with requests. We think that this person is posting something on social media that isn't good. We request that you take it down rather than demand. And of course, Twitter and X and Facebook and whatever, they would just comply. And the reason they comply is because the FBI is part of the government. And if you start not doing what the FBI requests, then the FBI starts going like, what's going on over here? And you get additional regulation. You run the risk as an organization, and the same is true of a bank, of being downwind of additional regulation, additional scrutiny, and it makes your day-to-day business harder, where it's just easier to be like, well, we'll just turn these records over because, we're a bank and we can just do whatever we want. Or we'll just ban these people because it's less of a hassle to comply with an FBI request than to deny it on grounds of principle and then have to deal with the FBI's sticking a search probe up your back end of your business. Deke, do you have any thoughts on the FBI watching your bank transactions?
Back into your business? What?
Yeah, back into your business.
Yeah, I've got a couple of problems about that. Is this news? I mean, is this news?
No, well,
it may not be like,
I don't have anything to hide.
No, it's not that, we didn't know. It is the federal government, in this case, the House Judiciary, issuing a formal report accusing the FBI of.
So what's the difference when China does this and no one cares about it?
Well, we don't pay for China. For one.
You do.
We're not.
You do.
We're not.
You do. Where was your phone made? No.
Yeah. Hey, it's.
And what about those apps on your phone? Mm-hmm. Okay. What about the apps on your phone?
Stop shopping at Temu, Dave.
I have not.
It doesn't matter if it's made in Korea. The microchips in your phone's made in China.
No, it's not. Okay. All right, I got it.
But seriously, I mean, we hear on the news, like, the TikTok thing's big right now. So we'll use the TikTok thing because the servers are all in China. And we know that China has the ability to hack in the backside. We just found out China is hacked into AT&T, Verizon, and
don't say T-Mobile.
There's one other. I don't know if it's T-Mobile or not.
Don't say T-Mobile.
I think it might have been T-Mobile.
Mint Mobile on the T-Mobile network. Don't say T-Mobile.
I think it's T-Mobile, and they're both on the AT&T network. So at any rate, we know that China's hacked into there. And you talk about it, people are like, well, I don't care. I got nothing to hide. And then as soon as you say the government, the U.S. government, everybody's like, whoa, I need to get bugger.
No, I have been telling you guys not to do China stuff, though. I do care about China.
On the back of your phone bill, you pay this universal service fee. It's called like something, the universal service fee. And it started back in the early 2000s.
No, it goes back to the Illuminati.
And the universal service fee that you pay every month on your phone goes back to the 2000s, because when it first came up on the bill, I called and I asked, and I got a really informative person. And that in universal service fee that you pay like 99 cents for, it used to be $1 back then, but no telling what it is now, is because because one of the main companies, Bell South or one of them, owned a majority of the telephone and communication lines in America at the time. And they basically had a monopoly on them. So they passed this law that they had to provide this service cheaper for these cheaper companies like T-Mobile and whatnot to use their lines, because T-Mobile and all these can't put up as many lines as Bell South does, but Bell South owns those lines. So they had to make it affordable to them. But Bell South and all them was going to lose a butt ton of money. So now they charge every customer $1 to make up for that money. They called it the universal service charge fee or some crap like that. Because I used to look at my bills and I used to question it all the time.
I mean, don't you want the phone lines there though?
No, what I'm getting at is, like, I was sitting there thinking, JJ goes, you go with T-Mobile and Mint and whatnot, and their advertisements are always like, oh, we're really super cheap. We're really super cheap. It's like, yeah, but because everybody else is paying for you. It's not super cheap.
Okay.
You're still paying for it.
You're not. You're not different. I don't know what you're trying to argue, but
I'm not arguing anything. I'm just
other people are paying and I'm using the infrastructure. I like this. This
Social Security.
Yeah, Jesus like. All right, circle back around. All right, come on.
All right. I got this.
Hey, look. Everybody needs a little Jesus in their life.
I had one of those. My wife had. I think she has it in her car. It's sitting right on her little.
I actually don't have a little Jesus.
Oh, really?
I got a lot of Jesus.
All right. Look closely because you're not going to notice the change here. Oh, there we go. FBI admits the Bureau does not know much about drone activity in New Jersey. So I don't think we covered. Well, we may have mentioned it recently, but
there's been a couple of incidents flying into the ocean in California the other day.
No, I didn't. I don't pay attention to California.
Let me get to
that story. There's been there was I mean, I know in a week or so ago, I think there was in Virginia, there was a swarm of drones that were near a military base for like 2 weeks, and like nobody knew anything about it. But this one is about New Jersey. The Federal Aviation Administration last week issued 2 flight restrictions on the areas surrounding Donald Trump's golf club in New Jersey following a questionable drone activity. Drone sightings were first reported on November 18th, but continued this week. The governor said that there are 49 reports of drones on Sunday alone. FBI assistant director to the Critical Incident Response Group, Robert Wheeler, told Congress in a joint hearing that 2 Homeland Security subcommittees on unmanned aerial systems that the Bureau has not seen anything that would lead them to believe the drones pose a danger to the American public. We have unknown drones, swarms, or at least multiple drones, doing who knows what in sensitive areas, but they don't pose a threat. There is nothing that is known. The people, especially government people, love to do this, and also like activists or whatever. They say something like, "There's nothing that is known that would lead me to say that, but we just don't know." That's a concerning part. So they'll say like, "Oh, we don't have any evidence that something is wrong."
That's a way to say that they can't say. I mean, look at that sentence. There is nothing that is known that would lead me to say that.
Yeah. We do not attribute the drones.
They don't know everything yet.
Yeah. We don't know. She said, we don't know. We do not attribute the drones to an individual or group yet. We're investigating, but I don't have an answer to who's responsible for that. Of more people that are responsible for those drone flights. The FBI, the Bureau, is looking into the drone activity, but doesn't know much about it. Wheeler told Congress that just $500,000 of the Bureau's budget goes into counter drone technology. So he's there. So his message is, we don't know. We don't know who's responsible, what they're doing, or what their intent is, but please give us some more money because we need more money to find out. I guess he should ask Zelensky for some of that money, to be honest.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. That's a perfect segue. Am I the moderator? No, you're not. Make me a moderator.
You're about to
No
be.
comment.
You're about
I'm
to
just
be.
like hanging out over here.
Yeah, I know.
AJ's going off. I'm just letting him.
All right. I'm
like
let me stop sharing and you can. Go ahead.
This is a little bitty thing, but I'm glad you said Ukraine. This guy is from Canada.
The government is adding a further 324 unique makes and models of assault-style firearms to the list of prohibited firearms in Canada.
Wait.
Immediately.
Wait.
This means these firearms can never be legally used, sold, or imported in Canada, and can only be transferred or transported under extremely limited circumstances.
Wait.
As part of that process, the government of Canada has committed to the Ukrainian government to identify whether some of these guns could be donated to support the fight for democracy.
So, if you hadn't paid attention, they basically banned 324 different types of firearms in Canada. They're going to confiscate them and send them to Ukraine. Did I get that right? I'm maybe confused.
Do you guys want to just take over Canada?
Wasn't there another country that did that? They like confiscated weapons and then used them in a military setting.
Nothing's ringing a bell.
Man, it's like right on the tip of my tongue. It's from the past.
Is Do Good watching? Maybe he knows.
Maybe. Yeah, I can't. Like this is the 1930s,
40s, late 30s, early 40s, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ringing a bell.
Well, I think the weapons were taken in the 30s, late 30s, 38 maybe.
Yeah.
Everything kicked off in 39.
I
can't remember the Nazis.
Have you seen that all these people that are questioning this, just like we did on the show, they're questioning this assassin or this killer guy that killed the CEO guy? Have you seen all the stuff that's coming up about
Luigi?
I'm not questioning,
it's like but it's not making any sense.
Man, there's a lot of weird things there.
Okay. Yeah. And these other people are pointing out, it's like, how come we know more about this guy in 5 days than we know about what's his name that took a shot at the president in 5 months? You know, and it's like, so there's a lot of stuff that's known about this guy. Have you seen the eyebrows? The eyebrow scenario?
I saw somebody make a post about eyebrows. Yeah, I mean,
this guy's manifesto. He really likes the Unabomber, so we can call him the Unibrower.
Okay, so I will say this: there's a fake manifesto floating around, like within hours of getting his name released. That there was maybe it was I think it was in 4 hours of the actual shooting. There were fake manifestos. People had just like made up fake ones and circulated them online. So like parsing the truth from what's really out from real information is pretty difficult. Oh my God. I guess we're past it. I had found I can't find it now. I had found a photo of somebody posting like, "I love Texas." And it was a guy following another guy on the highway, and it was a pickup truck in front of him. And the pickup truck had a machine gun mounted. So the machine. Yeah. And it's the gun stuff. Anyway, you guys moved on. So, so I'll stop searching for that. Okay, so Luigi, so what about the eyebrows? They don't look the same from the blurry photos that we have.
Does that look the same to you? Hang on. I mean, even accounting for the angle that he's looking down, let me bring it back up here. You're an artist, JJ.
Wait,
look at it from an artist's perspective.
No. Remember that photo on the right? That was the photo that was not the shooter. We saw that the jacket's different, the mask is different. That's not the shooter. That's a different guy.
If you say
okay,
so.
I'll give him that. That he might be accurate on that. Because I don't think
those guys don't match because that wasn't the same. That jacket's got that button right there on that. Right? Isn't that a different guy? Or is that the different guy? Which one of those is the different guy?
I don't know. Well, there's the eyebrow thing, but let me bring up some others here for you. Oh, did I close the page where it's on? Oh, here we go. Cyber attack timeline. A major cyber attack on United Health Group happened in February of this year, and it coincided with Paul Pelosi's $4 million investment in Palo Alto Networks, which later investigated the breach. Brian Thompson, United Health CEO, was murdered shortly before he was set to testify in a Department of Justice case that could have implicated Nancy Pelosi in insider trading. Luigi Mangione, a tech-savvy scion of a wealthy Maryland family with historical ties to the D'Angelo family, Nancy Pelosi, was arrested in connection to Thompson's death. Speculation suggests that the cyber attack could have been orchestrated to facilitate insider trading benefiting the Pelosi family. Nicholas Mangione, Luigi's grandfather, had ties to Thomas D'Ancellaro Jr., Nancy Pelosi's father, raising questions about long-standing family connections. This guy's family is directly linked to Nancy Pelosi's father's family.
Okay. I mean, that's a suspicious thing to say. But remember, Kevin Bacon.
Ace Geyser, host of Sunday Night Live on InfoWars, author of The Rise of American Populism.
Well, if you're like, how are these two? Remember the Kevin Bacon game? Like, all the people that have never been in the same movie together are like only like 2 or 3
7 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Because all right, and I've used that before, but think logically on that game. How many people does that involve? Okay, not many. There's not many.
Okay,
so of course Kevin Bacon. The real 6 degrees of separation is that you're 6 degrees of separation from the president of the United States. Okay. So everybody probably has someone that they know that knows this person. Exactly.
Sure.
But when you have something like this, okay, here's how my brain works. When you have something like this, you have, ooh, that's interesting how that all fits together. And then you have the JJ side of your brain that's like, crap happens and it just could be crap. But when that happens throughout history, over and over and over and over again, it's really hard to continue to swallow the Kool-Aid and say, maybe, 6 degrees of separation.
I think Dave has something to say here, but remember that humans are story machines. Okay. So we will take related information or sometimes unrelated information, and we will create a narrative that makes sense.
Humans
because we make
also easily brainwashed into believing whatever, and that is historically.
I agree with you, and in fact, I wish it were more true that humans were more brainwashed, but some of them are just so smart they don't fall for any tricks at all.
Are you making a joke? Are you making a joke?
You don't say.
No, I don't. So what am I looking at?
You're not watching. I was pointing at her.
Oh, geez,
I was making a joke.
There's a lot of stuff here. I mean, it goes down the timeline.
I don't know if we're like story driven so much as we detect patterns better than most things in creation. Like we are really good at seeing breaks in patterns and seeing patterns, but I think we also see things that are not there.
Yeah, so that's the same. That's the same thing. The thing that helps us recognize patterns has a lot of false positives. Is the thing.
Yeah, it's called confirmation bias.
Yeah,
confirmation bias.
All right, I have one more story here, and this one, I mean, we got 15 minutes left, but this one kind of.
Good morning, do good.
I kind of want to save this
one.
I used to a minute ago.
You guys know about swatting? What swatting is?
Oh, I heard about this. Oh my God, we've been talking about this topic on the show.
So Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm sure, has had to deal with this a million times already because people just don't like her, and because she's so outspoken. But recently, she had a bomb threat swatted at her house. The police officers on the local bomb squad was traveling to the scene. He collided with another car, killing the woman in the other car, Tammy Picklesmeyer. The email threat, which warned of a pipe bomb in Greene's mailbox and referenced Palestine, was sent to the assistant police chief. That touched off the police response. The source of the email was traced to a Russian internet address. It was the latest instance of a crime known as swatting. Man, that's wow. Terrible. Greene says, "I'm sick to my stomach, but I'm also angry. This should never happen, and I pray it never happens again." Gosh, yeah, that's terrible.
You know, in my imagination, when I heard about this, in my imagination, I was thinking like, oh, this is just some leftist Antifa punk that is, you know, computer punk that was doing stuff. But it actually could be a not politically motivated, just asshole kid in Russia that thinks that just wants to be notorious, and like, and that puts it outside the reach of our law enforcement.
The vast majority of false bomb threats do not come from in the United States.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There are more bomb threats that are made from overseas regarding stuff here in America. And it puts a burden on law enforcement because you can't mess around with it. You have to respond.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Russia stuff the other day. You know, the left likes to be like, oh,
yeah.
I know, but so-and-so is this story specifically said the IP address came from Russia. So-and-so is a Russian asset. They'll say that about Tulsi Gabbard, or they'll say that they said it about Donald Trump or whatever. And whenever they do that, they wrap an entire country of like 60 million people that includes government and bureaucrats and civilians and the entire diaspora of a society into a word Russian, and attributes to them this monolithic, like, Russians did this, Russians as it's one thing. But they just got bad people. You got bad people in the US, and you have some bad people in Russia, and bad people everywhere in the world. I don't know what we do about this. I don't know what we can do about not foreign state actors, just foreign civilians doing this kind of thing. And how do we prevent it? I'm not sure how. I'm not sure how you really address that problem. You get on the phone with Russia and be like, "Hey, Russia, one of your shit sticks just got a woman killed in Georgia." I mean, like, what's? Yeah, right, exactly.
How'd you get this number?
So how do we? So I mean, like, do we make systemic changes here where we just don't respond to bomb threats unless we have credible evidence? Exactly. Yeah, so we can't do that. So like they're able to use the fact that emergency services have to respond to these kinds of threats, and then the law enforcement responders respond in kind with, like, we have to take it seriously, like it's a real threat, because we don't know. So we could walk through the door and get shot, or this is a real problem. Thankfully, it's not a problem at large scale yet.
Let's hope it doesn't go that way.
Sorry for that woman's family. I thought it would be politically motivated.
Now here's jokes.
Yeah, let's do jokes now. Oh,
Jesus Lord. Please save us all. Christmas jokes, JJ. Put your book down. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for joining our conversation today.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Sorry I was late.
Hang out with us. Did anybody say anything in the chat today? Oh my God, I need to change the battery in my mouse.
Yeah, do good.
Oh,
you still haven't changed the battery in your mouse?
No, I went to work. I work for a living, sir.
Dude, I'm in my office right now.
I didn't say it didn't work. Just said I do.
You gonna start? You want me to start? All right. A while back, I was in a hotel lobby and I spotted a couple of chess enthusiasts bragging about past wins.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Were they chestnuts boasting in an open foyer?
You're exactly right. They were chestnuts boasting in an open foyer.
Oh boy.
That's great, Dave.
Then I'll continue on with that line and say, what is Jack Frost like best about school?
I don't know.
Jack Frost in the PA channel.
Yeah.
Snow and Tell.
Snow and Tell.
All right. Why did Santa put his sleigh in reverse?
I don't know.
This is the worst joke. He wanted to see if he could
get
get a refund on those naughty list gifts.
Okay, I'm going to give you one. Here's JJ's joke of the day. After the wise men gave their gifts of gold and frankincense, Mary and Joseph started to thank them, but the third one said, "Wait, there's myrrh."
Oh my God.
You want me to do one more? Here's your last one, JJ. Get ready to hit the thing.
These
Do you know?
Christmas jokes suck.
Dave will know this one. Do you know why there is an angel on top of the Christmas tree?
No.
Okay,
why?
so you see, Santa was having a really bad day and he was totally stressed out. And the angel came in and said, "Hey, Santa, where should I stick this tree?"
Oh, look who's here,
So-
guys.
Joey. Oh, hey. How are you?
Hi,
Really?
How you
Joe.
feeling, dear?
Good.
Here, you
Can't
want to hear
hear
the
us.
voice talk? I can stick that in
Hey.
your other
Hi.
ear.
Hi, Jill.
This one. This one.
No, this your left ear.
Oh.
Put this in your left ear.
This one. This one.
Yeah.
All right. So
All
I
right.
have one more
The
joke.
guys had incredibly funny jokes for you. Are you ready? Tell us when you can hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I got one. What kind of music do Santa's elves listen to?
What?
Rap music. Get it? Because they got a rap present.
Nice.
Mm.
So
Okay. Well, that was so bad she left.
She
So my
dropped.
buddy,
Hold on. She dropped the headphone. Let me. Come here. I'm gonna put it on speaker so you can hear him.
all right.
All right.
So this is a true story of sorts.
Now, let's try another one, guys.
Yeah, my
Let's see if
buddy
you can
went to go
this-
cut his own Christmas tree down the other day, and he did. He had a chainsaw. He had broken his left arm, so he was having a hard time, but he get it cut down, and he got the hole in the center, a little off center, and went home. And he called me. He's like, "David, why can't I get this tree to stand up?" Well, it doesn't have any legs.
Mm.
That's a bad one. It's
But it's a
okay.
good
Don't touch that.
That's-
Joe, why did oh, never mind. Daddy messed that up. It's just not good.
He's looking
The
up
best
at
Christmas
him.
present.
Jill,
Yes.
why was the Christmas tree bad at knitting?
What?
Because it was always dropping the needles.
Mm.
Do you know what knitting is?
Oh Lord, I gotta go.
All right, bye. Say bye.
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 Dad, can I tell a joke?
Yeah, you can tell a joke. Go ahead.
Okay. Why can't eggs tell a joke?
Why can't eggs tell a joke? I don't know.
Because they crack me up.
All right, say thanks and like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Okay.
Politicians and talking heads lying left and right. You can help us bring facts into the light. Don't let your daughter lose her next swim meet to a psychopath dude with fake teeth. As safe for a comment
Our jokes are
he
great.
said